Good morning and welcome to this episode of Random Guy number 6. Today I'm going to show you how to remove and install a toilet. Now this is the old toilet and you're going to be asking yourself, well, why would you want to remove that? That is a nice looking Kohler toilet. Now I like to call these women's toilets, and that's because of the shape. And if you're a man and you go to sit down on one of these, let's just say there's not a lot of room here in the front for any men, well, real men anyways. So I'm going to be installing an elongated toilet, which is a little bit more man-friendly. So let's get to it. Now to start off this adventure, the first thing we want to do is turn the water off. Once that's off, we want to come up and we want to flush the toilet and get all the water out. So the first thing I like to do is unbolt the toilet from the floor. Now they've got these little plastic caps on here, and you can usually get any knife underneath the edge. Kind of pop it up, pop it off. And then with a 7/16, you can just take these bolts right off. And there's one on each side, of course. Now mine is spinning for some reason, so sometimes you just need to put a little pressure underneath to kind of lock that in place, and then you can get the actual bolt off because it's not catching underneath, and this actual shaft is spinning. Now that both of those bolts are removed, we just need to undo this. Now sometimes if they're too tight, you can use a crescent wrench. If you can't do it by hand, you can basically just get this on there and turn it with that. But this one was on just right. I have a little towel underneath here. Soak up any extra water. And now we're ready to actually remove the toilet. Now this toilet is a two-piece toilet, so if it's too heavy for you, you can remove this top part here. And there are basically bolts underneath the back side. Once you get those off, this entire piece will come off and it'll make it considerably lighter for you. But I don't need to do that. Now you'll see there's quite a bit of water still in the toilet itself, and counterintuitively, in order to get rid of that water, we need to add water. So whatever container you have, you can just pour in there and that'll get the bulk of it out. Now we can actually lift this thing off. In order to do that, all we need is to lift it straight up. Now it's going to be stuck on there with some wax, but you should be able to lift it, and we're free. Caution, this next part may be disturbing to some viewers. Now new toilets are going to come with their own hardware, so we'll go ahead and just slide these old ones out, toss those aside, and then we'll get the rest of this wax off of here, which is super easy to do. And I'll take the new hardware and basically just slide it in there like that. Now the toilet I'm installing came with its own gasket, so I want to actually attach the gasket here first. So we'll get this peeled open and show you how to push that on. So here we just want to cover this over the ring, try and get it centered, and give it a little push. Now we're ready to actually install the toilet. Sadly, there is no easy way to do this. Just kind of try and hit the holes. do one side at a time, then that's how you gotta do it. And there we go. Both screws are through. Once they're through, you kind of want to sit on it. And that'll smush that wax ring down. Then you can adjust the toilet where you want it and tighten it up. Now there isn't really a lot of room here, so I'm going to do my best. First thing to go on is this little plastic piece. Then we have a washer over the top of that. And then the nut. Once you get it down as far as you can, get a socket in there and tighten it up. And you want it pretty tight because you want to be able to squish down that wax that's there. Now I've tightened the other side down to kind of get them even. Then I want to just make sure that everything is nice and snug. And you'll kind of feel when it gives you a little bit of resistance, that's where you want to stop. If you shake the toilet and it doesn't move, that's tight enough. So you don't want to over tighten because you can break this porcelain. Now with these, there's no break-offs. A lot of times there's break-offs and you can put these over the top, but we don't need these even though it came with it. So this system just has these nice little side covers. Just kind of slap that on. So just like when we removed it, we will attach the new one. It's actually pretty nice. I'm using the computer screen to see what I'm doing. Now you just want to get it as hand tight as you can. Now, if you don't think it's tight enough or you get a leak, you can grab a crescent wrench and try and get up in here and kind of tighten it a little bit more. Or if you want channel locks, those might work too. So let's see if I got it tight enough. All right, so there's no water in the bowl yet, but we just need to flush it. And our water will magically appear. Now I'm gonna flush this a few times just to make sure I have no leaks at the floor and no leaks in the fittings and everything that I just tightened. All right, no leaks there, no leaks there. No leaks coming from that pipe. So now let me show you some of the features and adjustments on this toilet, and then we'll put the lid on and get this thing wrapped up. So on this particular toilet, we have a number 1 and a number 2 flush that's pushed from the top. And this little adjustment here is for how much water is in the bowl. So if you want more water or less water, you can adjust this accordingly. Now to install this flushing mechanism onto the actual toilet lid itself. Now this piece basically just comes off, this comes apart. Now I don't think it really matters which side. I think it can go either way. Well actually no, that's wrong. Number 2, number 1, bigger and smaller. Now the length of these, you'll have to adjust. Basically you can spin them out and then tighten this little black nut whenever you get them exactly where you want them. And basically you just want them to push on the actual flushing mechanism. So I'm just gonna set these at a random spot and then go see where I got it. Let's see. All right, so that is not far enough. So loosen this piece and then loosen this piece up. And these both basically need to be the same length anyways, so. Beautiful. Now I absolutely love the way these new seats attach. They got these handy dandy little things here, so you don't have to go underneath the toilet anymore. Basically you just jam this in there and it's fully adjustable. Now we'll have to tighten a little bit of course, but just want to get it snug because we want to test how the seat is going to fit. So we don't want it all the way tight yet. Now, we can set this on here and see how the holes line up. And they don't at all, so we can just turn them in. We'll set this down. All right, and once it's actually set where it needs to be, you can just tighten these down the rest of the way. And you'll kind of be able to feel when it's tight. So obviously you don't want to go too tight, but you obviously don't want to be too loose either. All right, now there's a little button here that'll come off. I'll slap on these handy dandy little trim pieces to make it all pretty like. And finally get rid of the old marking on here because that's ugly. Drop that, pop this on, and I think we're good to go. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Random Guy number 6. If you enjoyed the video, please remember that I am trying to travel the country and do these types of remodels for free for people in need. So anything you can do to help, whether it be like and subscribe, share, all of that stuff helps immensely. So for now, I suppose I'm gonna have to test this thing out. I'll see you soon. Now get out of here. Go on.